Hi, friends, and welcome. This is Dr. Heather coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather here at Cardin Center for Wellness, where we are open for the first time on a Sunday in over 23 years, I think. And we actually just opened because we had a lot of people messaging us here in Johnson County. We're one of the 4 counties in the Kansas City, Missouri metro area that start a quarantine on Tuesday. But I had a lot of people asking me over the last really several weeks, what do I do? Because I know that people know that I do have RSD, which is reflex sympathetic dystrophy, but I don't have any autoimmune disease. My hormones are in balance. So what do I do on a daily basis to keep myself healthy, to keep my immune system nice and strong, and to help keep stress down? So I just thought I'd walk you through what I do on a daily basis just to keep myself healthy. I am exposed to people on a daily basis prior to the coronavirus, whether it's streps, colds, or flus. And we always say you're only as healthy as your strongest immune system. People are like, well, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to take a little step back. As you're joining us, let us know where you're joining us from. But I just want to walk through, and hopefully there's some tips that I do on a daily basis that maybe that you can use, or maybe you've got some questions. Maybe there's a lot of confusing information going around about what you can do on a daily basis. But I do believe it begins with you and what you can do. So, we've talked extensively about sleep being our secret weapon. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But, in the morning when I wake up, we'll talk about that. I generally stretch in bed. I make sure that I get a good 12 to 20, probably 20 ounces of water at room temperature. And they're saying now, right now, to help keep the virus out of your mouth, because we know it's spread by respiratory droplet, that having a drink every 15 to 20 minutes of a room temperature to warm water, we know our stomach has a lot of gastric juices in it, that actually taking a drink every 15 to 20 minutes help keep the virus out of your mouth, because you're washing it to the stomach where the gastric juices will inoculate it or kill it, so to speak. So having a nice little drink every 15 to 20 minutes, and this is a new standard protocol, will help keep the virus from growing or actually spreading in your body. So that's something that I think everybody can do. And here at Ask Dr. Heather, we talk all the time about keeping your body well hydrated. So as I wake up in the morning, I do my stretching in bed, I do my meditation, a little gratitude journal, and as I get ready for the day, I do oil pulling. On the days that I can remember, I'm not 100% with that, but that's something you can do because we know that there's a lot of bacteria and stuff that goes on in your mouth. You can oil pull with coconut oil, avocado oil, sesame seed oil, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, and you actually want to spit that out in the toilet or in the trash. That can pull out a lot of bacteria. It can help reset the balance in your mouth. We talk about toothpaste next, because you want to have your mouth clean before you oil pull. You can do things like baking soda. There's new charcoal toothpaste you can use. We generally don't recommend fluoride. I know it's a big shocker for people, but fluoride, especially if you've got a gluten intolerance, you don't want to use a fluoride toothpaste. We can go more in depth with that. But nutrients that I do on a daily basis, people have been asking me. I do intermittent fasting. So when I wake up, I don't just put food in my body. I do not eat until my body is hungry. Nutritional wise, what I do is I've upped my vitamin C over the last few weeks. And I do every single cold and flu season, as we have a higher population of patients that come into the office that have a higher cold and flu season. I up my vitamin C, and you can take vitamin C to bowel tolerance. That means until you get mushy stools. The reason people take vitamin C is because it makes your blood or your body very acidic. And when you want to keep your body acidic, just like we talked about drinking water, because as your body's acidic, it doesn't allow critters like bacteria, virus, yeast, and other things to grow in your body. So keeping your body at a nice temperature, people often say, well, my normal body temperature is 96 degrees. It's not good because it lets things grow in it. So you want to keep your body temperature up nice and high. We've got an infrared sauna here in the office. I thought we'd just cruise past and show you that. I'm going to just make sure, like, if you have advantage of that, if before your gym is still open, sitting in a sauna is a great way to actually help keep your body temperature up nice and warm, to actually help kill out some bacteria that's in your body. Just make sure you change your clothes afterwards. Some people actually sit in a sauna, they don't change your clothes, and you can actually be more prone to some yeast infections. So make sure that if you're sitting in a sauna, you get that burned out. But I do take my vitamin C in the morning. I take some extra zinc. I also use some Cyto Detox. And then when I start to feel my energy start to go down a little bit, I do use Pure Therapeutic Exogenous Ketones that I have since 2015 to actually help feed my mitochondria that energy that they want. As I get hungry and I love my coffee, I put keto cream in there. I love the collagen. I love the Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon's in the keto cream. Cinnamon's a great preservative. It's a great antioxidant, along with zinc I add into that. Zinc is, again, a great antioxidant for your body. So those are some things that we do. I also take some extra magnesium because my magnesium level tends to be low. optimal magnesium levels. Again, this is absent of any virus or bacteria, but magnesium levels should be 2.2 to 2.6. Magnesium for this time as well is a natural tranquilizer for your body. It's a smooth muscle relaxer. It also helps calm your body down, as ketones do as well. So we talk about stress being so important for your immune system. People keep saying, or I get messages, why do I keep talking about stress? I probably get this message once or twice every day. Well, think about this. Prior to the coronavirus, you talk about autoimmune diseases. That's always a big hot topic. It seems like autoimmune diseases, as we know, are always onset by the perfect storm. Whether your house burned down, a divorce, you get your job, you get fired from your job, or maybe you lose a loved one in your life. It's a perfect storm, which is something like that, like your house burning down, generally onsets an autoimmune disease. So that actually weakens your immune system. So if you can keep the stress down, then we know that actually can help your immune system be stronger. So doing things like intermittent fasting, eating in an 8-hour window, eating as clean as you can, because your body is its own pharmacy. So you eat cleaner foods, local foods. You don't overeat and overconsume processed foods, processed stuff, because I know that's happening right now. I have a lot of questions coming in. How do you stop from binging? How do you stop from overeating? I'm home. The kids are driving me crazy. My husband's driving me crazy. I'm hearing that. So what you can do is do things like go for a walk, and that would be the next thing if I'm not working, or get some exercise in throughout the day. I know I'm supposed to talk about my normal routine. I get out of bed, I have some water, I stress, I do some daily devotion. I could have Dr. Ralph. He gets up, he gets a cup of coffee, he gets in the hot tub, he does his daily devotion, his daily prayer. Then he takes the dog for a good 30 or 40-minute walk. So he gets his mindset, he gets his grounding in, and some good fresh air in. So I'd love to know what your daily routine is as you're joining us in. And then again, nutrition, I talked about what I take. In the afternoon is when I take my 1-4-3, or my combination of MCT oils. This is what I've been taking since they released that. I love Dr. Mary Newport's work. Look up her work. MCT is a blend of medium chain triglyceride oils, plus it has some phosphatidylcholine. I used to take phosphatidylcholine from standard process, but now it's actually in the MCTs, which actually help make a nice, healthy brain cell. So it's the outside of the cell membrane, which is where you find phosphatidylcholine. Also find it in raw egg yolks, which I don't care for, but it's super important for your brain health. So I know that we need to start brain health protection at the age of 35. I passed that birthday a few years ago, so I make sure I take at least a teaspoon or two every single day for good brain health, for good cognition. We also know it helps protect your brain when you have a nice, healthy cell wall. So I also take vitamin D at night before I go to bed. Some people say it's a sunshine vitamin, take it in the morning. I have found that levels are better when you take them at night, because it's not competing for any other nutrition, any other food throughout the day. We know when you have stress throughout the day, it can change your pH of your stomach. So sometimes things don't get absorbed as you want them to. There are some studies that say even the highest quality nutrition out there, the highest quality vegetables, you don't only maybe absorb about 60%, no matter how high the quality is, because during the day, again, you have a lot of stress. It changes the pH of your body. Sometimes the food that you're eating, the quality of food, the quantity of food can actually interfere with the absorption of good nutraceuticals or good nutrients or the foods. So I do take my vitamin D at night. Here, people ask me all the time, how much vitamin D? It depends on what your levels are. We check that D3, we check it with blood. So right now I'm taking 10,000 IUs. My level was lower than I wanted. Optimal levels are 75 to about 100 is where nanograms per deciliter are optimal values for vitamin D. So I do take vitamin D at night. Sometimes I have, because again, sleep is our secret weapon. I do take some bone broth at night. I do use the Better Broth by Prove It, because it does have some extra B6 and B12. It's got some fermented leucine, which is really hard to get in your diet organically. Organically just means by nature, something that you would eat. And leucine is a super important amino acid for the brain. So I always want to, again, protect the brain. That's so important. It's also got some extra hyaluronic acid, which is, again, hard to get in the diet, but that's important for the cell membrane. It's important for other integrity of cell walls and cell blood vessels. So I love having that. We know that there's so many studies showing that when you can get into sleep deeper and longer, again, that's when our body rests, restores, and repair. When you can do that, it also helps drain out the lymphatic system of our brain. So also a little extra melatonin at night, not for sleep always, but yes, it can help people with sleep. Your body actually makes melatonin in the presence of darkness, but there's other studies showing that melatonin is actually a great lymphatic drainer for your brain at night. So we also know it's great to exercise. So make sure that you're getting exercise in each and every day. And I'm going to challenge everybody to do something that's positive out there. So hopefully this is giving you some ideas of what I do at night or what we do throughout the day to kind of keep your body healthy. People are like, well, what do you do? These are the simple things that I do each and every day. I make sure I'm getting enough water in each and every day. I make sure that I don't overeat because it actually over arouses your nervous system. When you're putting in too much food into your body and you're eating in too many hours, all you're doing is just telling your body, digestive system, process food, process food, process food. And then your body doesn't have time to really focus on circulating and cleansing out your immune system and calming down your body. I did want to actually finish with a couple things. I know I'm a little bit all over the board because it's always hard to talk about yourself. I also take electrolytes because electrolytes are essential. We talk about things for your body being essential. It means they're necessary for life. We talk about fatty acids being essential, which come from nuts and seeds and healthy fats. Like we talk about amino acids being essential for life. We talk about carbohydrates not being essential because your body can make its own energy from fats and from proteins that can do that as well. So we talk about things being essential like electrolytes. Essential for life means your body needs those to process its day-to-day activities. Things not being essential means that your body can actually live its whole life without them. So it's like red dyes, artificial coloring, artificial flavoring. Those are not essential for life. You can live your whole life without them. I did want to close with just a little bit of Sinus 101 because people have been asking me a lot about the sinus membrane. They're hearing a lot about this on CNN and news flashes, but we're going to keep this simple science. So that's kind of my day. Wake up, have some water. I do a lot of stretching for my body because that's what I feel like I need these days. And again, you want to keep your mind in that positive place. I've done a couple videos and posts down below about different things you can do to de-stress. We've been doing puzzles at our house. We've been playing games, playing with the dog, watching movies. Again, keep yourself in a funny movie place. I wouldn't start watching some drama that actually take you to a negative place, and then connecting with things that are fun. People talk about being quarantined. I know many of you know that I had an accident about 6 years ago, and when I first broke my ankle and they said, oh, you can't drive for 6 weeks, you can't go to the gym for 6 weeks, I thought, oh my gosh, that's a really long time. And then it turned into I now haven't driven for 6 years. And so I know kind of what it's like to be a little bit isolated and to have that feeling of quarantine. But the self-quarantine, I want people that just say, that's what I'm really doing. That's a gift that I can do for my family. Like my husband's not gone to the gym because we want him to still show up at the clinic. So that's a gift that he has given up for our family and for our patients here at Carden Center for Wellness so he can keep himself safe because he doesn't know where other people have been. There are people still going on spring break and going out of the country and not self-quarantining, and that's their choice. But what we're trying to do is just teach our children that, you know, when you have done something and you found yourself susceptible to something, that you want to actually give that gift of I know I say that, hopefully I'm saying that right, self-quarantining yourself or keeping yourself at arm's distance so that you're keeping your loved ones safe as well. So we talked about, the other thing we can talk about is we talked about drinking every 15 to 20 minutes because that's washing out all bacteria, viruses, and other stuff in your mouth because it goes right down to your stomach, which has a low pH, which is a high gastric level, which kills and negates things. Showering, this is a great thing also that when you are like, we've got 2 sons that are still working. And my mom is actually living with us. I think, you know, she's on palliative care and they are not coming to the house. Palliative and hospice care are not coming to the house, but she still has to go to doctor's appointments. So they've recommended if you're out in public, like we're out at our office today, that when you come home, shower when you come home. I know our kiddos used to shower in the morning, but since they are working curbside restaurant business, they need to shower when they come home, just so that just keeps everybody safe. They used to shower anyway when they come home so they didn't smell like food, but I may just share that with you. Shower when you come home if you've been out in public, just to make sure. It's just, again, a simple thing that you can do. And sometimes that's healthy. It calms down your nervous system. The warm water can calm down your nervous system. It can be very, very, very therapeutic. You can also dry brush or wet brush in the shower, which can be very therapeutic as well. Take a nice Epsom salt bath, which can calm down your nervous system and help get a good night's rest as well. Now we're going to do a little Sinus 101 here. So I know it's backwards. I apologize. Are you going to flip that for me? Oh, he's checking a patient.
One bigger.
Oh, he's going to give me one bigger. Okay, because this has got just a picture of a kiddo with sinus cavities, because we've got sinus cavities here, sinus cavities here. So when they're doing the testing, you're going to hear people say they jam that all the way up top. That's because all that stuff is connected here and here and even connected through the ears, and that runs down the back of your mouth. This is the bony layer. So when you look at the bones, this is kind of the frontal bones right through here. So when I'm going to talk a little bit about sinus rinsing, which I talk about all the time, every single spring and every single fall. Bigger picture. Yay. So we talk about this in the springtime, the fall season, which is right now in Kansas. It's the moldy system. So these are the orbits or your eyeballs. This is your nasal septum right here. So this is kind of your nares or your nose. So when you're talking about sinus rinsing, I've got my sinus rinse kit right here. Or if you have a neti pot, you want to use warm water. You want to actually just clean all of that out. So if you know your nose is dry and you don't generally get some drainage out, because you want to have drainage out just normally to keep that moist. If you have a humidifier in your room or a humidifier in your home, just make sure you're getting that clean as well. This is normal standard spring care, but you might just want to boost it up a little bit. Make sure your filters are clean in there. You can get the sinus rinse care here. If you're in the Overland Park area, we do have a limited supply of free ones to give. If you're here in Overland Park, we've got some information. You can pick these up at your local pharmacy, but these are sinus rinse kit. You do need to throw these away after a couple weeks, just like we talked about. Toothbrushes need to be cleaned every couple of weeks. Don't keep them for 6 months when you see your dentist. What'd you say?
3 months.
Yeah, so 3 months on. Yeah, so we're saying, normally it'd say 3 months, but this time of year, if you've had some exposure, you might want to get rid of them a little bit quicker. Don't keep them from season to season, but it's a simple way, because I just wanted to implement that your sinuses go clear up here. These holes are your sinus cavities up through here. You're seeing on this kiddo right here, the green areas are sinus, and you're going to see it's also connected sideways through your ears. So you're going to see some ear drainage can happen all through here, and it goes down the back of your throat. Just wanted to show you how that's all connected through there. And when you look at the bottom, they're going to talk about you can get mold, you can get pollen, you can get viruses, you can get pet dander, you can get dust mites from your bedding. So make sure you're changing your bedding, your pillowcases. If your pillow's really, really old, or you have a down pillow cover, or you have feather pillows, things like that, I probably say get a new one this year, even though if it's expensive, just because it can really trap dust mites, which will feed on that. They're tiny little critters that can invade your sinus cavities. Also, viruses can get trapped on that, but mold this time of year is pretty high in pollen. All that stuff can get stuck inside your sinuses. And then again, it's pretty easy. Just use some water and then again, put some salt in there to rinse that out. So it all tells it out. But, clues that your sinuses need to be cleaned out is that if you go and you can't hear yourself, or you hear yourself inhaling on either side, or you're having to clear your throat a lot, or your eyes look a little bloodshot, or you're having to rub your eyes because they're dry, that may be a sign that you need to get your sinuses cleaned out. Again, you can pick these up. We've got a limited supply of free ones here at Cardin Center for Wellness, or you can pick them up at your local pharmacy. My last recommendation, because people have been asking me for books to read this time of year, I've got some books. Dr. Ralph is the book reader. This is, I think, one of his top 10 books. It says, Why You Are Sick and How Your Brain Can Fix It. So this is by Dr. Barwell. This is one of, again, our favorite books. We actually buy them by the case here. It's a great book to read, just about how mind over matter. If you tell yourself and you worry that you're going to get sick, whether it be cancer, whether it be ulcerative colitis, whether it be something else. But if you tell yourself, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm well, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm well, your brain believes what you tell it. So it's just some other things that we do here that you can actually, it's forwarded by Dr. Patrick Porter. He's shaking his head over here. But to tell yourself those positive affirmation, your brain's going to go with it as well. So I've kept you here long enough today. I just wanted to share kind of the standard day, other things that I take. I forgot to share. I also take electrolyte. I take a Signal OS, which is a great DNA repair. Again, this wasn't available 20 some years ago when I was practicing, but it's available now today, because DNA is what helps us tell our phenotypic types about ourselves, but it actually starts to decrease or starts to wither away as we age. So we want to slow down that aging process, because what happens is we have little telomeres, which are the caps on our DNA, which tell our expressions about ourselves. And as we age, it starts to, again, just starts to shrink or wither away. I generally talk about it like a flower as you're pruning it, as you clip off the rosebud. rosebud. You want a rosebud to grow back in place. Well, as we age, it doesn't always happen. So now we know that we've got something that will actually slow down that aging process. So it also can help our body slow down or accelerate the healing process, slow down the aging process. So just to review again, get a good night's rest, 7 to 8 hours for adults. Kiddos should be getting 10 to 12 hours of sleep. These numbers are from the American Sleep Institute. Please go there. That does not count watching TV, watching your phone, checking the blue, those type of things. So lots of amazing things. I do also take an adrenal adaptogen I should have included. Again, so we talked a little bit about what I eat. I can get more information if you want to. Drop your questions down below. This is absolutely meant to be shared. Let me know if there's something else that you're doing in your day. I know there's lots of amazing therapies out there. I was doing hot yoga at least 2 to 3 times a week. It's a good way to get sweat on, get your lymphatic system going. The yoga studio is closed, so now I'm going to use my infrared sauna and do some stretching inside of there along with my daily routine. I was also using a hot swimming pool, which is closed right now as well. So I'm going to find some substitutions for that. We're also going to try to give you some more value here on this page. I'm going to do some more easy, simple cooking as we've been doing because people have been asking for easy, simple recipes. But I'd love to know what you guys are doing. Have some fun with this time that you're spending more at home or more outside gardening because it's almost gardening season here in the Midwest. Remember, lots of water. Everybody knows about washing your hands. I did make some home sanitizer. Also on my YouTube channel, I have recipes about making your own toothpaste, about making your own Clorox wipe if your store is out. Also about making your own deodorant if your stuff is out. Simple ways that stuff you already have at home. But again, your body is its own pharmacy. Put good food in it and your body will actually make a healthy immune system for it. Keep the stress level down. Keep the positivity up and your body will actually be kind to you. So again, have an amazing day and we'll be seeing you soon.